Okay, so let's start. First, I'm done with the syllabus, right? So now let's take a look at the our class site. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we start, let me just talk a little bit about this class. Okay, so the thing is, okay, this is something I have to tell you before I just start to the next topic. So those of you who took my class last year, I think it's about a year ago, 4510, and there's a 4520. The 4520 is a data mining. I think, yeah, so a lot of, this one, previously they used the R or some R. There's another programming language which is really kind of popular in analytic area, which is called R. Okay. And then I think I used the Python. I mean, this is like a last year, but I kind of changed my mind. When I teach this class this year, I decide not to use R. Okay. I decide to use the Python. And then I borrowed a couple of material from the previous course. Okay, so this is what I did. What I plan to teach. Okay, the reason that I changed from R to Python is that Python is just too popular. Right? I think even though R is kind of useful language, I think compared to Python, I think Python is just getting more and more popular. So I think even though I use a couple of previous material from the previous course, I decide to use the Python as the main programming language that I'm going to use instead of R. I taught R previously, but I like R, but the Python is just by far I don't want to say it's better language, but it simply is the most popular language these days. The Python is nowadays used in statistics and bioinformatics, and then finance, marketing, right? And then even the cybersecurity. So in the Google, in the Amazon, right? If you type cybersecurity and Python, you'll see many books, many. And also, the Python is nowadays heavily used in administrations and networking. And then it's pretty much nowadays it's everywhere, like machine learning, deep learning, and the Python is just dominant. So dominating the whole market. So that's why instead of R, I just decide to use the Python. And then I think even though you took my 4520 previously, I think this is going to be a really good review. And also I'm going to add a couple of new material. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is that in this semester, I'm not going to teach you R. Okay, I'm not going to bother. So my main emphasis is going to be just Python all the way. From day number 1 to the last day, it's going to be Python. And just like I said, this is going to be heavily hands-on coding class, programming course. Although theory, I need to teach you a couple of theories. This is the analytic course, and there's the theories, right? Okay, so that's something I'd like to tell you before I move to the next topic. So it's going to be heavily the Python, and I borrowed a couple of material from the 4520. Okay, next is the weekly task list. Okay, and then another thing is, before I just move to the weekly task list, let me just briefly talk about the YouTube link. So if you just click this, it'll lead you to a YouTube link where you can look at all my recorded announcement videos, right? So if there's anything that I need to make, if there's any announcement videos, then I'm going to upload all of them to this link. And then this link will coming soon. Every time when I upload my lecture video, you will see all of my lecture video on this link. So I'm gonna create this link soon. Okay. And then now let's take a weekly task list. When you click the weekly task list, you will see this document. Okay. So the January 24th, it's like week number 1. So just like I said, first few weeks we're gonna basically review Python, because from the rest of the this semester the Python is gonna be our main language. I know there's a couple of you took Python like a long time ago, like a couple of years ago, and some people, I know that for few people, I think this is kind of a little bit boring, but still, I like to review a couple of important Python concepts before we really move into the next topic. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so if you go to this website, www.pythonforeveryone.com, that lessons, right? I think this is you will see this link. And then you just log in, just create the account and then you log in, right? This is, by the way, this is a free material. You will see this lessons, right? And then what I like to review is, I don't want to really starting from the beginning. I know that, by the way, if you have not taken any Python programming course, then you should not take this class. I think you should take all the prerequisite course first and then take this class when you are ready. Okay? But anyway, since I assume that you already took all the Python courses, the things that I like to review is functions, because we're going to use functions extensively in this class, and then loops, and then strings, and then list. So those are the 4 topics that I like to review, right, before I move to the next topic. And then first, I want you to review the functions. So when you click the functions, there are 3 video lectures. If you already know the functions pretty well, then you may skip this video lecture, right? You may skip. If you really know Python in and out, right, then I think you can just skip this, but it's up to you. But this lectures are very, very good, right? It's very good. And then once you watch this lecture video, right? So let's just follow the weekly task list. So there's 3 video lectures, right? And then for the task, you need to do the exercise 4.6 and then take the quiz, right? So here is a quiz, right? So when you click the quiz, then you will just, click the quiz and you take the quiz, right? And then, let's say, you finished your quiz and submit to. Wow. So at least I like to. So once you're done, right? I want you to take the screenshot, right? I think it's, if you use the Windows. I don't know about the Mac. I never used the MacBook before in my entire life. Just MacBook is just too expensive for me. But anyway, if you have a Windows machines, I usually use for the I think I use the snipping, right? Snipping tool. Yep, that's the tool that I use. Okay. Oops. So I use a snipping tools, right? And then I'll just say new, I mean, of course, you don't have to use the snipping tools. It's up to you. I mean, I'm just showing you one example. And then, so it's done. And then, you know, just, you don't have to really show me everything. Only thing that I like to see is your score, right? Here's a score, right? That's something I like to see. And the good thing about this quiz is you can take multiple times until you get 100, right? So I assume that everybody can get 100, right? So that's your screenshot. So any questions up to this point? So any question? Okay, so that's a screenshot, and then save it, right? And then let's just go back to the another okay, and then there is what? There is an exercise, right? Tools. So this is auto grader. And then you just read the instructions, right? And then once you're done, let's say this is, I know this is not really done, but let's say check the code and enters hours. Let's say they're asking you to enter 45, right? So the 45. And then if you read the problem, they said rate of 10.5, so 10.50, right? And then okay. Oops, I think, oh, you know what? I mean, this is, oh, so, I mean, actually this is the answer, but when you're done, right? Let's say when you're done, then you're not gonna see anything. Like for example, let's just reset the code. And then when I say check the code and then 10.5, right? 10.5. No, actually the enters hours is not 45, right? 45. And then whatever. I mean, let's say, I mean, I know that this is incomplete. So whenever you have a problem, they will say mismatch, right? So that is not good. So that means you have to, fix your problems and until you get right answer, right? As you can see, as I showed you before, if everything is fine, then you're not gonna have any message like this, okay? So assuming that everything is fine, you are done, right? When you click the check the code, and if everything is fine, then what you can do is once again go to the snipping tools. So I'm not gonna save this. And by the way, when you save this, make sure that when you save to your file, using really like popular, use very popular image format like a PNG and GIF or the JPEG. Okay, don't use HTML. Please use the GIF. PNG, GIF, or the JPEG. Okay, so when you save it. But anyway, so once you save your file, okay, so let's see. Where's my snipping tool? I think I just, where is a search? Hold on. Oh, here, right there. And snipping tool, right? Okay. So when you have record and make sure that it's done, and then something like, you don't have to really show me everything, it's just that like this, right? So then I can see done, and I see that, assuming that everything is right, I assuming that I don't expect to see this, and then I expect to see this, right? This has to be matched. Of course, if everything is correct, then this has to be matched, right? So this is something, this is like another screenshot, right? So any question? Good. So basically, you are supposed to just go back to the weekly task list. And then for the submission, right? I want you to take just when you submit, please just submit only one Word file or the PDF document containing 2 screenshots, right? So okay, so this is like one word file, right? So what you can do it is you can probably insert pictures, right? And then using this, pictures, make sure that this one Word document has 2 screenshots. And then you only submit one Word file or one PDF file. You can make this as PDF, right? So, any question? Okay, so any question? Good. So that's the your homework assignment. By the way, for this, I mean, you can watch this video tutorial because this video tutorial really talk about this exercise 4.6, right? As you can see, if you watch this worked exercise, I don't think you will have any problem solving this exercise problem. Okay, so week number 1 is due by Tuesday midnight. I can give you a little bit. I think this can be done like 1 or 2 days, but I feel like you need a little bit more time to review. Just go back to your previous Python course, and then you need to probably read a couple of chapters, especially when you took this class like many years ago, right? Okay, so that's the functions. And then week number 2 is about the loop. And then this is like still under constructions because this is about next week task, but I may add a couple of more things later on. So that's why I said still under constructions. But basically the same thing, you're gonna watch the video tutorials on the loops, right? And then you do the exercise, and then you take the quiz, right? And then take the screenshots. Oops, I think there's a misspells. So take the 2 screenshots for the exercise and quiz, right? And then you just submit one Word document. Now, so just let's go back to the lessons. So yeah, just make sure that you create your account and then log in. And then there's loops. As you can see, loop has 5 lecture videos. I mean, if you're really familiar with loops, you can probably skip this. I mean, if you are familiar with the loops and while loops, for loops, and nested loops, and all the loops, right? If you feel really comfortable, then maybe you can skip. But you should still take the quiz and you should do the homework assignment. And then, but another thing is it'll take definitely more time to review all the material in the loops because as you can see, right? Where is my, okay. As you can see, loop is long, right? And how many video lectures? 5 of them. So my advice is you can just finish this as soon as possible and you can quickly move to the next one because it'll take a little bit more time. And this is due date is Wednesday midnight and this is the Tuesday midnight. Okay. So any question? Okay. Any other okay, good. So, and just go back to this if you go to the content, if you go to the content area, and if you click the assignments, here is a link for the submission for functions. I'm going to create another one, loop, right? I'm going to create another submission link. But they submit only one Word, MS, or PDF document containing 2 screenshots, right? So that's where you can submit your homework assignment to. Okay. So any other question? Okay, good. Then let's just take a 5-minute break. I'll talk a little bit about the code, like how to write the develop the Python code. Just briefly. It's going to be really quick. Okay. So. I'm going to start recording my announcement video And then, yeah. So let's just take a 5-minute break. Okay, so see you in 5 minutes.